So today I want to show you 5 quick tips that could help you improve your SAT score. So let's get into it. So one of my favorite workarounds is literally pulling numbers out of thin air. So let's look at this question, for example. It's asking, can you solve for C in terms of P and N? And let's say you're having trouble with this. Well, what you can do is put in a random number for N, let's say 4, and a random number for C, let's say 2. And it tells you what P is. So, okay, P is equal to N times 19 minus C. So P is 68. So let's write that down. P is equal to 68. And so let's remove this equation. You know what those values are now because you came up with them. And so you can just take every single answer choice and put it in to the calculator in decimals. So C is equal to 19 plus P all over N. C is 21.75. Well, no, we don't want C to be 2. So we just keep doing this until we end up with C is equal to 2. So it's not A, it's not B. 19 plus P over N is not C, and that means it has to be D. And there it is. C is equal to 2. And so you know that you can get your answer just by coming up with numbers out of thin air, even if you don't remember how to isolate things. And here's another example of this. Let's say you forget your exponent rules. You're not really sure how to go about distributing these numbers and dealing with these exponents being multiplied together. So what can you do? Okay, let's just say a random number for M is 3, a random number for Q is 5, and a random number for Z is 6. And then you put in the expression that they give you, M to the 4th power times Q to the 4th power times Z to the negative 1 power, all times M times Q to the 5th power times Z to the 3rd power. Okay, so this is a really big number, but that's fine because you're just going to let decimals do all the work for you. So now you just pick one of these and just see which one it matches with. So M to the 4th times Q to the 20th times Z to the negative 3. And that's not the same number, so it's not A. And just keep doing this until you find the right answer. M to the 5th times Q to the 9th times Z squared. And those are exactly the same. So now you have your answer. Your answer is B. If you forgot your exponent rules, all you have to do is just make up some random numbers and plug it in. So a big tip is to go back and check your answers. Look at this question, for example. You know it's pretty simple to solve if you know the quadratic equation. But let's say you forget the negative sign. Well, if you work out the rest of the problem, you end up with 6 minus 2 square root of 19, which the SAT puts there on purpose, hoping that you made the mistake of forgetting the negative sign. But if you just check your answer, you can see that you made a mistake somewhere. You can just say W is equal to 6 minus 2 square root 19, what we thought the answer was, and then plug it into the equation that it gives you. W squared plus 12W minus 40, that doesn't equal 0. So you know you made a mistake somewhere. And if you go back and you redo the problem and you get negative 6 plus 2W, then you can say, okay, it's very, very, very close to 0. And sometimes you just forget what you're solving for. Take a look at this example. It's asking for the tangent of A. And if you look at this triangle, you know it's a 30, 60, 90 triangle because every angle must add to 180 degrees. So, okay, well now I know my special triangle rules. I know that 54 is 2x, which means that the side of AC, the adjacent, is just 54 divided by 2, which is 27. And I know that side CB is just x root 3, which is 27 root 3. And if you look at your answer choices, that is one of them. So if you get too ahead of yourself and say, oh, I finally found what is CB, and you get too carried away, you move on, write that as your answer, and you get it wrong. But if you slow down and remember what you're actually solving for is the tangent of A, say, oh, right, the tangent is the opposite over adjacent. And now that I found those, I can say that the tangent of A is equal to 27 root 3 divided by 27. And these cancel out, meaning that the answer is really C. And a big tip is that you don't use decimals enough. Decimals can blaze through a ton of SAT questions. For example, even the one we just did before can be done in decimals. Since you know that every triangle must add to 180 degrees, you can say, okay, what is the tangent of 60 degrees? Just make sure that your calculator is in degrees mode by clicking on this wrench and changing it. And say, the tangent is 1.732. Well, that's not an answer choice. But if you just brute force it, because Desmos is a calculator, you just type in what is the square root of 3? 1.73. And you just go through every answer choice, and that's it. There's no need to actually find what is AC and what is CB. And with that being said, the other example we did, you can solve that in Desmos also. Just replace w with x squared plus 12x minus 40 is equal to 0. And where does that line up? You have two solutions, negative 14.7 and 2.718. Well, that's not an answer choice. But again, Desmos is a calculator. So you just type in negative 6 plus 2 square root 19. After going through all of them, you say 2.71. That is exactly what Desmos gave you. You can skip all of this headache of remembering the quadratic equation and remembering your orders of operations if you just use Desmos. And another tip is that you might be relying too much on Desmos. Look at question 20, for example. It's asking what is the value of C given this expression. So you could solve that with Desmos, and you just plot 4 to the 8C power, making a slider for C, and then saying cube root of 4 to the 7th power. So once you do that, you say, okay, I know that C has to be some value, so that my expression up here, 4 to the 8C, has to be 25.4. So we just keep dragging C around until we get that. And you see, it's very tedious. So, okay, 0.3 is a little too high, and 0.2 is a little too low. So say 0.29. Well, that's not enough. 0.299 is too high. 0.298, 2.97, and so on and so forth until you get an answer. But if you prepared ahead of time and you studied, then you know that the cube root of 4 to the 7th power is really just 4 to the 7 over 3 power. And that is equal to 4 to the 8C power. So it's just 7 over 3 is equal to 8C. And you just need to solve for C. You just got to move the 8 over. So it's just 7 over 24. That is your answer. That is it. As opposed to having to do all the slider business. 7 over 24 is 0.29166, which is exactly around what we found using Desmos. But it was way easier to just know how to do that with manual math instead of going to use Desmos.